Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here to finish my Getting Messy project. This is gonna go live in a little bit as soon as it gets loaded at the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and then I'll make it public later. Okay, if you'll recall, this is kind of where we ended up at challenge time. And as you can see, there's some bubbles, but that's not going to matter because I'm going to cover those up. These are my photos. I've printed them and then I matted them on the two colors of cardstock, the two greens that I did not use. First with the diagonal striped doodlebug paper, and then I used a page in the catalog. One of the photos is matted on the remainder of this, and you can see the very thin border around there that has some colors in it, and you really can't tell what the pattern is underneath. And I've done the same here, but with a different photo, one that had more of the pink colors that are there. And then I used the other darker green dotted Swiss type paper. So I was planning to mount them something like this, so that in this upper corner there'd be some of the flowers showing, and then there'd be some down in this lower corner here. So I'm going to mat this one flat onto the background. This one I've put a piece of foam behind it because I want to overlap, and I'll do it like this. Nothing magical about that. I did mention that I would like for this, well, let me show you. I did this one on camera for the challenge. This is a I think this was a Michaels spring. It is. It's a Michaels flyer that came in the mail. It was a card. And then I just cut a different butterfly, cut the background butterfly out of that. I cut a different butterfly out of white, glued the body together so that I could curl the wings up, and I thought I might mount that so that it somewhat points to the title or leads the eye to the title. I talked about, let me make sure I don't lose my alphas here. I talked about using different parts of the catalog and different methods for cutting things out. I'll show you what the cover of the catalog looks like now. I cut, let's see if I can find it, this butterfly out of that tulip, and then I turned it over and cut this butterfly out of the center of that daffodil. So I have those two colors. I've used the cover. This was a Dolce & Gabbana fragrance card that was inside another catalog, and I thought the center of that perfume bottle would make a nice center for the butterfly. What I did here was I cut the butterfly out of this paper, and then I cut it the same pattern out of some pink foam, and I mounted the body on top of the pink foam, but the wings kind of operate independently, and I didn't punch out all the little holes in the pink, so if it rests on the pink, it kind of looks like I've backed a cut file in a way. Just a trick to the eye. No particular, and I can't tell you that I especially like this or would do it again, but who knows. It's good enough for this, and I like that I tried it. I have other things here. Here's I think I talked about a little bit about gluing the if you have a thin catalog page and you're afraid your die cutter might rip it, I talked about gluing it down to some foam and then cutting it. And I did that with, let's see if I can find, okay, I did that with 2 pieces of pages. I glued it down using, where's my big roll of this stuff? It's Elizabeth Craft. It's a whole roll of adhesive, and I tend to use it for utilitarian purposes. I don't use it a whole lot on pages or on things like this. So I did it as an experiment because I had talked about that idea. And I cut this one with one of the pink dies, and then this one with a more finely cut die where the lines on the butterfly are a lot thinner. And I will tell you that this one is kind of looking a little raggedy. I'm not going to use it on this page. It was very difficult to weed, and I will use it somewhere, but I think not on this page. I just don't like the way it looks, and I'll probably figure out a way to make it work, but I'm not going to take that time today. So that goes away. This one, on the other hand, is just the perfect color purple to be located near these purple irises. So I'm going to use this one, and because the lines were bigger, everything came out neater. And they were different. I don't know if I can attribute it to being different kinds of dyes. I do know that the dye I used for this one, I don't use as often as I use the other ones. The other one may need sharpening, and I've heard you can do that with aluminum foil and or sandpaper or something like that. I've never tried it. So maybe something else to try. So I have a variety of butterflies here. I have this dragonfly, some really small butterflies, a bee. I can also tell you, you might remember that I got a flyer from a local nursery, Pike Nursery, that was advertising Ladybug Day, and I cut this butterfly out of the red part, and then I fussy cut the little ladybug that was on the flyer. So, and then I turned it around and cut this butterfly from this area, and there was only one little part that hit the white border there, and I guess a little bit of this. I could color that with some darker ink, or I could leave it the way it is, and you know me, I'll probably leave it the way it is. I could have cut something out of these tomatoes. I had cut that thinking I might use that as a mat, and I chose to go with something else. Here's the Michael's flyer. I cut the large, this large butterfly here. The dragonfly is right here. The bumblebee is here, and I did little butterflies in this little purple one, an orange one, and I think down over here in the kind of yellowish. So I pretty much used everything that could be used of this Michael's flyer, except the coupon. I haven't used the coupon. But I get my coupons online as well, so I didn't probably need that. Okay, let's see. I've got lots left to this catalog if I want to do another gardening type page, so I'm probably going to keep that. So we'll discard that, discard all of this, and let me show you another thing I did before we start putting things together. I did the glue page to some foam here, and then I cut, this is a Lawn Fawn ABC set of dies, and the only letters I wanted to use were the letters in the word spring, and I didn't need any duplicates, so I was able to use those. What's nice about this is the letters do come out kind of clean there. I kind of like the way they look, and I think the word spring is going to look pretty with those. When you do it with the foam, it kind of sticks on here, so you have kind of like a sheet of thickers that you can use as you want. And you know, the others, if I just cut it out of cardstock or pattern paper, then I'm left with a little baggie of loose letters, and I hardly ever go back and try to use those. But this one's got some nice letters that I can use on another page. So put that aside and you'll see the word as we do the title. Okay, let me put this aside. What I'm going to do now is try to figure out which butterflies go where. I think we had talked about using this one as a kind of traveling up and pointing to, leading your eye to the title. And I like this one because it's the right color purple for the purple irises in this photograph. And let's see, I've got a primarily, this is a little bit pinker purple. It's the exact same pattern butterfly, but I think it might look nice there. So let's kind of see. Then we'll bring in some accent colors. I think I will not use this red one because it's a little jarring against the green. So I'll use that on a different page, kind of put that aside. I do like this peachy one, and it kind of goes with the peachy colors here. So I'm going to add it here, and I'm probably going to let it overlap that photo a bit because this is kind of a messy looking painted area, and the flowers end there, so I'm not really covering up any flowers, and all I'm doing here is covering the neighbor's garage, so that doesn't bother me either. I kind of like this one because it has kind of pinks and purples and colors in it, so it could maybe go there. As you can see, I'm kind of concentrating the butterflies around the photos, and I tend to like that because even though it's going to be heavily embellished, there should still be a fair amount of white space around it to give you some relief from all of these colors and all of these little embellishments. So I'm looking at this pink one, excuse me, and while I like it and I don't have a huge objection to how it turned out, I don't think I like it on the page as this page is shaping up. So I'm going to put that one there. The ladybug, I may feel the same way about. I have a granddaughter named Katie, and I generally put a ladybug on every page I do about her because we've always called her Katybug. And so I'll probably save that to use on a page about her. So now I want to add in a little bit different element, this dragonfly. Not quite sure which, the title's going to go here, and I need to space that out. Let me do that, and then we'll see what can go where. Let's see, where's my S? Okay. S, P, I just kind of want to spring, and then I'm planning to space some small thickers for the word has sprung underneath that. I've got both navy blue and white that I could use. I'll put that aside. I think that will all fit there. So let me see where these other elements can go. And the fact that the title's going to go there is going to kind of somewhat disguise, not hide, but disguise the rough strokes there. And I like the mixed media look of rough strokes, so that doesn't bother me per se. So maybe this, I'll put that there for now, and I'll put the bumblebee somewhere here, pointing down at the word spring. Are you able to see that? Yes. And then I've got these tiny butterflies that I thought I would do kind of heading up towards this corner, and maybe do some little twirly trails behind those. Let's see, if I do that, would this be better down here? Let me hold off on this and let me do the others. I tend to like to glue butterfly bodies down so that I can curl up the wings. And what's kind of funny is sometimes when I've cut out a butterfly and I turn it over and look at the, or any shape, turn it over to put the glue on, I think, ooh, wow, that would have been a pretty side right there. That was the one where the peach-colored daffodils were, were on the other side of the purple tulips. So let me burnish that to kind of get it stuck down, and then I'll worry about curling the leaves later. Same thing here with this guy, and you can kind of see on this one you've got some printing, and I actually like that look and have done a lot of that in the past. When I first got into this, I think it was during a Calvin ball, and I started, it was the first time I'd gotten some of those really pretty fine cut dies. I had a butterfly punch before, and punches don't work so well unless you've got a certain type of paper, but dies tend to be a little more forgiving. Okay, we're going to get this one here. And I could pop those up. I could put, particularly on that one, there's a circle in the body that would allow you to put put pop dots or foam, or I'm actually going to take some of this foam. Let me find my scissors that can cut. They're over there. I'm just going to violate my own rule and cut something with adhesive with my good scissors, which, okay, there. This will raise it up a bit, and even though it's overlapping the photo, it doesn't because it's up, it doesn't cover it as much. I already have a foam dot on the other side of this little bumblebee, so I'll put him right there. These tiny little butterflies, I'm just going to put a dot of liquid glue on the body, and kind of place it there. As I'm touching this, I see that this purple one hasn't been glued down. Let me do what I said there. There's a weed that's not punched out. I use my tweezers as a weeding tool, and that may not be the very best. It may be why the tips of my tweezers are a bit gluey. Okay, let me do, what angle do I want? I think we'll go this way. And he's on a foam dot, so he's going to kind of stay up and cast a lot of shadow, and I really like that look. So this guy's down there. Let me here put the glue on the paper like I do for sequins, and we'll go like this and kind of put that there. Those I'm not going to worry too much about lifting the wings because it won't really show too much. They're just tiny accents. But once they're glued down, I can actually kind of work the wings a little bit. Okay, let me take a look at this and see if I need I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. This one's still, well, no, this one's still loose. So I'm going to go back and put well, I'm not going to easily put a foam dot there because the glue is still liquidy. The foam dot moves around and I can't take the back off of it. So let me kind of stick that on the page, and that's not going to work either. Sorry, this is kind of a messy process, but I think I will like this butterfly popped up better than lying flat. Let me press that down. Okay, so that's done. Now, let's decide whether and where we might need this dragonfly. I think since we have these little butterflies up here, and especially if I do anything like make little trails for them, maybe this guy could be down here in this corner, maybe flying up at a little different angle from that butterfly. And I think since we have so many raised things, I'm just going to go ahead and glue his whole body down, and then I'll work with his wings later. So that's down. Okay. Now, I'm going to call this finished, and off camera I will put the glue on and line up the spring and then the has sprung, finish off the title, and then I will probably use a white pen to write around the page to give it a border and to do my journaling. And there's not much of a story here other than when my Japanese maples leaf out, I know that pretty soon these irises are going to bloom, and so are the lavenders, and that the clematis will start climbing the railing up to the front stoop. And it's kind of an exciting year, exciting time of year for any gardener, but it's really great for an area. I used to live in a much warmer area, and we had color and life in our gardens all year round, and that's not the case. Even in Georgia, even in the South, it's not warm enough in the wintertime for you to have the kind of lush color that you have elsewhere. Okay, so I'll finish this, and I'll publish the finished one in the party album at Secret Not Secret Kit Club April Scrap Party, and then I will I'll get the video out on YouTube, and I'll send you a link to it, and I'll see you in the funny papers. Bye.